And after Columbine, I told you that the next incident would probably happen within a reasonably short period of time. They have to keep the momentum going. The agenda is gun control, to disarm all Americans. You watch this gun control issue pick up momentum like it's never had before in history. And it's all based upon a lie. And everybody knows that it just has not occurred to them yet. It's a lie. They say guns are more available to children than ever before in history, and it's a lie. When I was a boy, ladies and gentlemen, there was no gun control whatsoever. The first gun control ever passed in this country was in 1968. I hope you're listening very carefully to me. Or will you be one of the stupid jerks who gets on board this wave of emotionalism and rides it all the way into the beach of enslavement, supporting the stripping away of the only protection against total tyranny and despotism that the American people have? The only reason that the Founding Fathers gave us the second article in amendment was to protect us from government, not to hunt, not to target shoot, not to be sportsmen, but to defend ourselves against the old despotism, the old tyranny from which they escaped in the old world. The tyranny of kings and monarchs and dictators and religions. Tragedy-fueled push for more gun control is based on a lie. Bravo, Charlie Reese. See, I've been saying this for years and years and years and years and years. I warned you about gun control before anybody else ever even thought about it. Except for Bernadette Smith. Or Bernadine Smith, I should say. She and I were the ones crying in the wilderness about gun control. We had it pegged when nobody else even dreamed such a thing was happening. Well, here's Charlie Reese now. He's caught up to us. Tragedy-fueled push for more gun control is based on a lie, published in the Orlando Sentinel, May 18, 1999. The current push for more federal gun control is fueled by the Littleton, Colorado tragedy and based on a lie which is repeated over and over, not only by gun control ideologues, but by talk show hosts and politicians. The big lie is that guns are more accessible today. This is factually false. It is demonstrably false. The truth is that, despite the Second Amendment, guns are less accessible today than at any time in American history. There are more than 20,000 gun control laws and regulations already on the books. Before 1968, there was no federal regulation at all of ordinary handguns and long guns. The only federal regulation was one passed in the 1930s that did not ban, but required a special license to purchase fully automatic weapons, sawed-off shotguns, and silencers. Before that legislation, anybody who wanted to could buy a submachine gun, fully automatic, at most any store, without filling out any paperwork at all. Guns are to America what the sword is to Japan. We would not exist as a country today without guns. For the majority of America's history, guns were as common in an American household as a broom or a cooking pot. Today, most states will not allow children to own a BB gun or to shoot one unless an adult is present. I received my Daisy BB gun at age 5, and I shot it unsupervised. I received a .22 caliber rifle for my 8th birthday, and I already possessed my own pistol, a .380 semi-automatic, which had been given to me by my brother-in-law who had fought in Normandy. It was among a duffel bag full of pistols he brought back from the war. American soldiers brought home all kinds of enemy weapons, pistols, rifles, true assault rifles, submachine guns. Today, even an admiral or a general is forbidden to bring back a rifle as a souvenir. There have been changes. And one change is that guns are less accessible than ever before. Another is that more and more Americans have been born and reared in big cities where they had no opportunity to use a gun recreationally or for personal security. Another is that, with the end of the draft back in the 1970s, fewer and fewer Americans have an opportunity to be trained in weapons use in the military. Another change, probably related to the others, is that more journalists and politicians are simply ignorant of firearms, though that never stops those people from talking about and wanting to regulate firearms ownership and use. What happened in Littleton had nothing to do with firearms. Every other kid at that high school had the same access to firearms as the two shooters, and that's true in all the other school shootings. If you're going to argue that all the other kids had the same access to culture and they didn't go berserk, therefore you can't blame culture, then you must acknowledge that the same argument applies to firearms. What you are seeing all around you is the old Hegelian principle at work. Thesis, antithesis, synthesis. First, you create or call attention to a problem. Then you generate hysteria about it, and then, voila, you offer a solution. In this case, you have two kids go berserk. You fan hysteria and then propose as a solution restrictions on the right of all